welcome to YHELP's Talks with Taylor. Today we are with Ms. Dedrie Boykin, a licensed clinical social worker who will be talking to us about new challenges. So tell us about your job.
So I am a licensed clinical social worker. And what that basically means is, for those of you who are thinking about a career in social work, you can do a million things in social work. There are the people who come to your school, or school social workers, or the people who take away people's babies. I'm not one of those social workers. I am a therapist. So I am a clinician who deals with people who have mental health issues.
How did you stay positive throughout this difficult year?
I think that the easiest way to describe how I've stayed positive, there's two ways. One, I think I find some comfort in the fact that everybody's going through the same thing. This is not specific to me. COVID is happening to all of us in real time. Social unrest is happening to all of us in real time. And so I do take comfort in the fact that there are people who are experiencing it with me. And then the second thing, and this is probably the main thing, is I think about how everything serves me, and things that do not serve me or that make me feel overwhelmed, I remove them. So if I'm getting too stressed about a client or a job, then I take a step back so that I can regroup and then try again.
When faced with a difficult challenge, what should you do?
The first thing I would say is something that I've just recently learned about, called plate management. So if there's something challenging you, you need to look at it in its whole and see what bite-sized pieces you can take to make it easier to navigate. So if it's about, getting into college, for example, if I think about applying to college, that's overwhelming. But if I think about, okay, let me just write the entrance essay. Let me get through that. Let me work on improving my grades and let me get through that. I think breaking things down into kind of bite-sized portions makes difficult tasks easier to maneuver.
Many plans and goals have been put on pause due to COVID. How do you prevent yourself from getting depressed or overwhelmed?
Is something that's in a lot of instances is easier said than done. I think the first thing is to unplug. Sometimes we are so inundated with what's happening on TV, what's happening on social media. It gives us a skewed view on what's really happening. And so there has to be value in unplugging and making sure that you are kind of being in the moment of what's real in your life, in your house, in your school. A lot of the news that we get is just so negative. I mean, in the last week, we watched for 4 days while they tried to figure out an election. And then now, since then, we've watched as one of the people involved refuses to concede. And that's stressful. So I have made a choice, and what I always share with my clients is there has to be a point when you get to that tipping point where it starts to affect your mood. It's all you think about. You're not sleeping, you're not eating, to unplug and engage in more positive activities.
What can we do to properly plan for next year?
That's a hard question, simply because we just don't know what's happening. We are now in the middle of what looks like the second wave, and there's a surge in many places. So again, I go back to what I said earlier about bite-sized chunks. Maybe it's not a time to plan a trip for next year that is overseas, but maybe you can plan something in your state where you can drive with your kind of, I think the term they're using now is pod, the people who are safe that you've been isolating with, or you can start exploring things that are available to you online. I know it's very, very hard, specifically the seniors last year and the seniors coming in, the rising seniors this year, thinking about not being sure about prom, or not being sure about being able to go away to school. Taking a look at what of the things you can do and planning that way, instead of kind of hanging your hat on things that may not be attainable based on the information that we have now.
forget, did you like, comment, and subscribe? And also, be sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at YHELPNow. And don't forget to check out my blogs at YHELPNow.com. See you later. Bye.